guys, just Ash here. Now, I know we've had a scary few weeks where I've not spoken about video games or anime, but we are back to normal now. Today, we're doing a video game video. How many times can you say video in one sentence? Too many. Today, I'm going to be talking about some of my favourite RPGs, and this will include Western RPGs and Eastern RPGs, as I've played a lot of both types. I really like playing role-playing games. I particularly like them because they have a lot of story, there's a lot of different things you can do, and I like the fact they have a lot of replayability, either with character builds or with different endings. Now, I would say RPGs are probably my favourite genre of game, so please bear with me while I wax lyrical about the games that I'm going to mention in this video. Number one is quite obviously Skyrim. It's the one that I'm currently let's playing on this channel every Monday night at 8 o'clock. That's a nice little plug there for you. What has my life become? What I love about Skyrim though is I just enjoy being in the world. It's so open and there's so much to do in it that on every single playthrough, and I've played 300 hours of Skyrim at least over every playthrough that I've done, but I've always done something different, either a different character build, a different ending of sorts, because obviously you get the same like basic ending with Skyrim, but there are different ways to go about it, or even just different random encounters that happen throughout the world. And it's these random encounters that really make Skyrim feel alive, and that's what I like the most about it. Bethesda has really worked hard to make their world feel realistic, even if it is set in a fantasy setting. Basically, every single NPC in Skyrim has their own routine and their own life, and you may not even discover that on a certain playthrough. It might be 2, 3, 4 playthroughs in before you finally realise that so-and-so is cheating on his wife with such and such, and you've only done it because you got bored and followed an NPC around, and it's that level of detail that really draws me into Skyrim. The next favourite RPG that I have is also from Bethesda, and it is Fallout 4. I know that some people out there think Fallout 4 is more of an FPS, and I will agree with you to a certain extent. It does play a lot like a first-person shooter, but the RPG elements that were included with Fallout 4 are some of my favourite ones. I particularly like all of the different character builds you can do, and really having to think about and plan where you are putting your next perk point. Personally, I like to play as a rifleman who focuses on critical hits and VATS shots. Other people may like to play as more of a pistol shooter, and I know some absolutely crazy people that do the whole game as a melee character. I couldn't imagine doing that. Everyone else has a gun. Why the hell are you walking up to them and trying to hit them? Next up is Dragon Age, in particular Dragon Age Inquisition. I love this game, and the thing I really like about it is the story. It's very engaging, there is a lot of lore that you can learn during the story, and it really helps to flesh out the world. I also particularly enjoy the fact that all of the characters that are in your party, as well as some that aren't, are romanceable and also have their own character side quests. It really helps to make the world feel more alive and more fleshed out. And every single time I play Dragon Age Inquisition, I always say, I'm not going to romance Cullen this time, I'm going to romance someone else. I'm going to see someone else's romance storyline. And what happens? I end up romancing Cullen. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the Eastern RPGs that I have played and really enjoyed. The first one is Final Fantasy 15, and it's actually my favourite Final Fantasy game as a whole. And I realise, I know that there are better Final Fantasy games out there, but Final Fantasy 15 was the first one that I played from start to finish. And the reason why I really enjoyed it to an extent, because it's a nice blend of Western and Eastern RPG elements. I really like the fact that the first half of the game is very open world, to an extent. There are lots of side quests, the story is again very engaging, and I really like the characters. However, when you hit chapter 8, it turns a bit more traditional Japanese RPG, you're a bit more on rails, you very much have to get to the next objective. The skill trees are really fun, there's lots of different things you can do with them. I personally never put any skill points in anything to do with magic, because I just like hitting things with a sword. But Final Fantasy 15 is the first Final Fantasy that I ever completed, which is why it is on my favourites list. Next up, we have Pokemon, and I really struggled to pick one Pokemon game for this video. I've played a Pokemon game in every single generation of Pokemon, all the way up until, like, the most recent generation. I'm looking forward to, but also feel like I will be disappointed in Pokemon Let's Go, but I understand that that is not for a veteran Pokemon player like me. However, my favourite Pokemon game of all time is Pokemon Crystal. The reason for this is I really like the fact that I can play the Johto region first, which is my favourite region overall, but I can also, once I finish that, go back and play Kanto. It's 2 games in 1. It's absolutely fantastic. I also really like the Pokemon games because you get the chance to plan your Pokemon team. You can pick a certain type and really focus on that and collect all of the Pokemon for that type, or you can change up your team as and when you come to each gym. This is what I like to do because it also means that I can go out looking for Pokemon that will fit a specific type for a specific gym, and that really appeals to the completionist part of me with, you know, gotta catch them all. And coming across a random encounter in the long grass is fantastic because it's either going to be the 50th Pidgey you have seen or it's going to be something really cool, and I love that element of unexpectedness. And finally, Persona 4. Now, I haven't actually completed Persona 4, but it still gets to be on my favourites list, mainly because it is such a challenge. It's so steeped in Japanese culture, which is really interesting to me anyway, but you're on a time limit. You have 1 year and you have a limited amount of time where you can do things on each day. Some days you don't get to do anything. You just get to watch a cutscene or the day simply moves on. And there is a real fear, a real dread that I have where I feel like I have royally messed up by choosing to study rather than go out with my friends. And that is one of the perfect elements of RPG for me because it's the unknown. It's not like I know what my next objective is going to be. I have that element of choice and the element of, oh, what if that was the wrong choice? So I will eventually complete Persona 4. It's just the stress of possibly getting it wrong is really difficult to get over for me. But I do enjoy it. I love all of the characters. I think they are really fleshed out. It's one of the better localizations that I have seen of an RPG pretty much ever. And that's why I love it. But before I finish Persona, there is one RPG that I really, really want to complete, and that is Mother. Now, I have played maybe the first 2 or 3 hours of Mother, but it was a really, really bad translation, because obviously, at that point, it hadn't been released over here, but I literally, today, found out that it was released over here on the Wii U as Earthbound Beginnings, and oh my god, I so want to play this game. I have wanted to play and actually complete Mother for years now, and I actually have the opportunity to do it with a decent-ish localization and not a really awful translation that's going to make the challenge of Mother 10 times harder because it is a pretty challenging RPG. So that's where the future for my RPG love lies. It is indeed with Mother. But I'm still going to keep playing Skyrim, I'm going to keep playing Fallout and Dragon Age and all of the RPGs that I have played in the past, mainly because I really love them that much and I will never ever get bored of them. So, what RPGs do you guys like? Leave them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss any more videos. And as always, join me next Friday at 8 for another video.